Welcome to the session on cloud computing and its application. In this particular video, we will discuss wide categorization of virtualization. We will also discuss about execution, virtualization, its reference, machine reference model, hardware level virtualization, and its related theorems. Taxonomy of virtualization technique. Now in this particular slide, we will try to understand how is it done, what are the techniques used, and which are the virtual models. Basically, virtualization is done in two levels. One is the process level and the second one would be a system level. Process level, the technique used as discussed earlier is multi-programming, high-level VMs and emulations. The virtual models for emulation would be applications. For high-level VM, it would be programming language. For multi-programming, it is operating systems. System level, the basic virtualization model is nothing but it's with the help of the hardware, and it is classified, the techniques are classified into full virtualization, para and partial virtualization, as well as hardware assisted virtualizations. In future slides, we will try to understand each one of these techniques. Now, when an execution environment is virtualized at unlikely levels or in a different at different levels of stack, then it requires a reference model which will define the interface within the level of abstraction, and this level of abstraction hides the details of implementation. In short, let me try to explain you. The virtualization can happen in different level as we have discussed in the previous slide, that is either the process level or in the system level, but there is an interface between each of these levels. So in this particular slide, we will try to explain you different execution virtualization models which will help you understand how each layer or each level interacts with the above or its below level with the help of a interface. Virtualization technique can substitute any one layer and can intercept the call which are directed to it. That is why a clear separation within the layer can simplify their implementation. Next slide, let us try to understand a reference model. Look at this diagram. At the base layer, the model for the hardware is declared with the use of instruction set architecture. So what is this instruction set architecture? Instruction set architecture, or also called as ISA, defines the instruction set for the processor, registers, memory and interrupts management. It is an interface between the software and the hardware and is mandatory for every operating system. The operating system layer is separated by application binary interface, or in short ABI, from the applications and libraries which are managed by operating system. Let us try to understand what is application binary interface covers. ABI covers facts such as low level data types and call conventions, and it also defines a format for many programs. Mainly, system calls are defined at this level. The next one is API. As you see in the diagram, API stands for Application Program Interface, is represented by highest level of abstraction. API interface applications to library and to core operating system. For an action, it is to be performed in the application level, API and the two which are responsible to make it done. So API and ABI plays a very major role. Mainly CPU runs on two privilege modes. One is the user mode and the second one is a kernel mode. User mode, in this mode memory access is restricted up to some limits, whereas access to peripheral is totally denied. Whereas in kernel mode, or it is also called as an admin mode, in this mode CPU has instructions which manages memory and how to be accessed, and it also has instructions which enables access to peripheries like disks and network cards. Instruction set architecture can be classified into privileged and non-privileged instruction. Now let us look at this one by one. What is an privileged instruction? The instructions which are executed under particular restrictions and which are frequently used for sensitive operations are known as privileged instructions. These, in the diagram shown in the next slide, it clearly shows that ring 0, that is a kernel supervised mode, uses these privileged instructions. The next one would be non-privileged instructions. Those instructions which can be used without interrupting any parallel task is called as non-privileged instruction. The reason being, the shared resources are not accessed. Examples are fixed points, floating and arithmetical instructions. Diagram, that is the security ring and the privilege mode, explains us the ring privileges. For example, it's been classified into 4 rings starting from ring 0, which works as a privileged mode and directly interacts with the operating system. The kernel makes use of this circle, so it is called as a privileged mode or supervised mode, whereas ring 1 and ring 2 are used for operating system level services. Ring 3 is where a user interacts and it is also called as user mode. The recent system support ring 0, as discussed earlier, is called as a supervised mode, and ring 3 is called as a user mode. Hardware level virtualization. Let us try to understand what is hardware level virtualization. A platform virtualization approach that allows efficient full virtualization with the help of hardware capabilities, primarily from the host processor, is referred as hardware-based virtualization in computing. In short, the whole hardware is virtualized using a hypervisor or a low-level program which acts as a virtual machine manager, or we also call them as virtual VMs, virtual managers. There are two types of hypervisor. The first one is hypervisor 1 and hypervisor 2. In the next slides, we will try to understand what are these. Abstract execution environment in terms of computer hardware in which a guest operating system can be run, referred as hardware level virtualization. In this, an operating system represents the guest, the physical computer hardware represents the host. With the help of virtual machine manager, or also called as VM, the resources which are required the resources which are required by the virtual machines or the guest operating systems are interrupted and the facility is provided through the virtual machine manager to the guest VMs. There are basically two types of hypervisor. The first one being hardware based hypervisor 1 and hypervisor 2. Let us try to understand what is hypervisor 1 or type 1 hypervisor. It runs on the top of a hardware, that is a virtual machine manager runs on the top of a hardware. That is why they take the place of an operating system. They interact directly with the instruction set architecture interface and exposed by the underlying hardware. So all the facilities which a virtual machine or a guest virtual machine requires from an hardware is provided by the virtual machine manager, which directly runs over the hardware. Now this is called as type 1 hypervisor. In slide, that is, we'll try to understand what is type 2 hypervisor. To provide virtualization services, the support of an operating system is required. The program managed by operating system in which interacts with the type 2 hypervisor through APIs or emulates the instruction set of virtual hardwares from the guest operating system. In short, let me try to explain it this way. We have an host which has an hardware and its own host operating system. In type 2 hypervisor, a virtual machine manager is set above the operating system or above the host operating system, and all the guest virtual machines will be running on above the virtual machine manager as shown in the diagram. Now these VMs can have different operating systems. So the difference between type 1 and type 2 hypervisor is, in type 1 hypervisor, the virtual machine manager directly runs on the host hardware, but in type 2 hypervisor, the virtual machine manager, that is VMM, runs above the host operating system. There are basically three major properties of a virtual machine manager should satisfy. First one would be efficiency, the second is resource control, and the third one is equivalence or equality. Now let us try to understand hypervisor reference architecture. What is this hypervisor reference architecture? Or there are three main modules of this. The first one is a dispatcher, the second one is an allocator, and the third one is an interpreter. What is a dispatcher? The dispatcher behaves like an entry point of the monitor and reroutes the instructions of the virtual machine instance to one of the other two modules. That is, whatever instruction and virtual machine has generated first reaches the dispatcher. It understands the instructions and then reroutes it either to an interpreter or an allocator. Okay, now let us try to understand what is an allocator. Allocator is responsible for deciding the system resources to be provided to the virtual machine instance. That is, it helps the virtual machine instances to get its resources. It means whenever a virtual machine tries to execute an instruction, that results in changing the machine resources, or I can say the host resources associated with the virtual machine, the allocator is invoked by the dispatcher. The third one is nothing but a interpreter. The interpreter module consists of interpreter routines. They are executed whenever virtual machine executes in a privileged mode. In the next slide, clearly depicted an instruction which comes from the virtual machine and trap occurs and it is received by the dispatcher. These instructions, the instructions desires to change the machine resources like load reallocation or bound register or any other instructions are called as privileged instructions and are sent to the allocator, whereas the instruction which does not change the machine resources will be sent to the interpreter as shown in the figure. Virtualization requirements were introduced by Gerald and Robert Goldberg in 1974 in terms of three theorems that defines the property that an hardware instruction needs to satisfy in order to have effectively or efficient virtualization. Application of instructions or instruction set architecture are done into three different groups. The first one is the privileged instruction, those that trap if the process is in user mode and do not trap if it runs on a system mode or also called as supervised mode. Control sensitive instructions, those that attempt to change the configuration of the resource in the system, that is your host system. Third one is behavioral sensitive instructions, those behavioral or result dependent on the configuration of the resources, for example reallocation of register or the process. These are the three categorization or different groups of instructions which were formed to understand which will help us understand the three theorems which we will discuss in the next slide. The three classification or three groups of instruction, that is privileged, control and behavior sensitive instructions, there are three theorems which we will discuss. The first theorem or theorem 1, for any conventional third generation computer an effective virtual machine manager may be constructed if the set of sensitive instructions for that computer is the subset of the privileged instruction. The theorem states that to build an virtual machine manager or VMM, it is sufficient that all instructions that could affect the correct function of VMM or sensitive instruction always trap and pass the control to the VMM. This theorem also provides a simple technique for implementing VMM called as trap and emulate virtualization, or more recently called as classical virtualization. Let us look at the diagram. Let me try to give you an example. The sensitive instructions, as discussed in the statement above, the sensitive instruction, that is the innermost circle, is always the subset of the privileged instruction. On the left hand side circles, you will see that the sensitive instruction is fully a subset of the privileged instruction, whereas in the right hand side you see the sensitive instructions is partially a part of the privileged instruction. So as per the theorem 1, all the sensitive instruction should be a subset of a virtual instruction, and hence all the virtual machine traps which are occurred because of a VM will automatically get executed, and this is a classical example for virtual machine manager theorem 1. Let me try to illustrate this with an example. Let's consider a host hardware and a host operating system above it. The third layer which we are going to put is a virtual box or a virtual machine manager. Now the point 1 states that the host operating system should be virtualizable. So yes, in this case it is virtualization. Now what does this theorem states? If the point 1 is true, that is if the host system is virtualization, in this case yes, we have used a virtual box, we will try to we will try to add one more virtual box or a virtual machine manager within the virtualization layer. Okay, Now the constraint over here is that there should be no time dependency. Okay, the reason being the innermost virtualization layer will have many instances developed on it or instance generated on it. These instances will interact with its VMM, and thereafter the inner VMM will interact with the external VMM which is hosted on the host operating system. So there is a time gap, and the point number 2 says it very clearly. If this time gap is not an issue, then theorem 2 stands true. Let us try to understand what is theorem 3. There is no much difference between theorem 1 and theorem 3. In theorem 1, we said that a VMM may be constructed if the set of sensitive instructions for the computer is a subset of the privileged instruction. That is, on the left hand side you can see that all the set of instructions are subset of the privileged instruction. But in theorem 3, it is as I said, it's similar to theorem 1. It is a hybrid virtual machine may be constructed for any computer or any machine in which the set of user sensitive instructions is the subset of the privileged instruction. In the earlier one, it was all the instruction. In this case, it is just a user sensitive instruction. This is theorem 3. So in the above slides we have seen how virtualization is done. I mean, categorization of virtualization based on its process level and system level. We have discussed machine reference model, security rings and privilege modes. Hardware level virtualization reference model was discussed, and also the related theorems was discussed. Thank you.